Here is a recipe for Msemen farsi with ground meat, which is different from the classic version. I'll show you how to make them successfully and get a beautiful flaky texture. I start by putting 300 grams of extra fine semolina in a bowl. You can even use fine semolina if you prefer. I add 250 ml of lukewarm water to that. Then I will briefly mix with a spatula. Then I will blend using an immersion blender. I've already shown you this foolproof technique to save you a lot of kneading time. For Msemen, Majeb and Meloui, I always do it this way. It guarantees a perfectly smooth dough every time. Next, I will add a good teaspoon of salt, 100 grams of flour, that's it, and the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil. You can even use olive oil if you want. We're then going to knead the dough well until it's nice and smooth and soft. It should definitely not be dense. Don't hesitate to add more water if you see that it's lacking. And don't hesitate to knead it as well. On your work surface, knead for about 5 to 10 minutes. Of course, you can also make the dough using a stand mixer. Next, we're going to coat our dough with oil. Don't hesitate to use a generous amount. Msemen's doughs are usually very oily. I'm going to form a ball of dough next. We set it aside in a freezer bag or a plastic bag, or cling film, whatever you have. We're going to seal it well and let it rest for at least 2 hours at room temperature. But I recommend letting your dough rest overnight in the refrigerator. For the filling, I heated some olive oil in a pan. While the oil is heating, I finely chop a large onion. I add the onions to the pan and sauté them for about 5 minutes. Next, I add 2 cloves of chopped garlic. I stir well and continue cooking for another 5 minutes. Then I add 300 grams of ground beef. I mash it well with the onions and season with salt, pepper, and cumin. Of course, you can use the spices of your choice. I stir to mix everything well, and while it's cooking, I chop 2 nice ripe tomatoes. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, you can substitute with tomato pulp. We're going to add the crushed tomatoes to the pan. And we'll stir everything well. Don't hesitate while stirring to break up the ground meat as much as possible. Let it cook for about 10 minutes, then add some chopped cilantro, mix one last time, and remove the pan from the heat. Now, we're going to take our Msemen dough, which has rested well. Look at how super soft it is. It has rested nicely. I'm going to shape it into balls. I don't forget to oil my hands well so I can handle it more easily. Next, I'm going to divide my dough into 7 small balls of equal weight. Personally, I made small quantities, but you can easily double them. To make more msemen, I cover 2 sheets. I let my little dough balls rest once again. The longer you let them rest, the easier the dough will be to roll out. You can let them rest for 30 minutes to 1 hour, then we'll roll them out on the work surface. Always make sure to oil your hands well. It's not a problem. If your dough tears, that can happen very often. We're going to sprinkle semolina all over the dough before folding the top and bottom parts. The semolina between the layers helps to get a nice flaky texture. Next, we're going to put the filling in the center. However, you have to avoid going to the edges so it doesn't spill over. I spread my ground meat filling evenly. We're going to remove the 22 parts from the bottom, remove. We're going to remove them. Then, on both edges, I pinch with my hands and flatten slightly. I set my Msemen farsi aside, cover it with plastic wrap, and let it rest while I prepare my other Msemen farsi. Next, we will spread out our Msemen in order, from the first to the last one made. The longer you let your dough rest, the easier your Msemen will spread. Then we will place it on a pan heated over medium heat. Let it cook lightly on the first side, and then flip it over. And you will flip it regularly while cooking, so it cooks evenly on both sides. When it is nicely golden on both sides, you can set it aside on a plate and continue cooking the others. Mr. Msemen. And it's ready. All you have to do is try it and enjoy yourself. They are nice and flaky, very soft, just the way we like them. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. See you soon.